Hello, these are the drawings of the three clay tablets found in Tartaria village, Alba County, Romania, in 1971 by archaeologist Nicolae Vlasa. They are supposed to be the oldest world writings, but in my opinion they are far from this, because no signs close to writing were used in any place in the world before 3,500 years before Christ. And in that period, the writing appeared in the form of proto-writing in quite the same time in Egypt and Mesopotamia, Sumer. Keep in mind that those first signs were not writing proper. True writing is supposing to use signs and the language to communicate, to transmit a message to someone. There was stage before true writing, named proto-writing, in which can be used signs without needing language, but the message is in the raw form, is not precise, is in much general form, and the signs used in proto-writing are close to pictographic signs. They used pictographic signs, as in this tablet you have a goat and the idealized shape of a vegetal, some kind of vegetal, cereal or tree or whatever, plant, and here nobody knows exactly, because it's traced in with only a few lines, and the body is supposed to be some human shape. Yes, from this tablet one can conclude that it's something about raising animals, goats, and practiced agriculture, but don't know what is about is a kind of it was kind of recipe. This goat was sold or offered to a god. The same with a cereal here in that picture. Soon after discovery, scientists suppose that would be the oldest world writing due of the primitive shape of the signs. Only very few of them are close to nowadays letters. The age supposed to be the age which were given to the tablets was 5,500 before Christ. That's because they found some bones of a human skeleton. They determined by carbon-14 analysis, radioactive analysis, the age of the bones close to 5,500 before Christ. But the tablets were supposed to be near the bones. Tablets were supposed to be found near the bones. There are no pictures or drawings to see exact relative positions of the tablet near the bones. It is not known precisely the strata which found. There is not no exact position of the pit in which was found the tablets and the bones, and there was some objects there found. Bracelet made of spondylus shell, which growing only in shallow hot seas, not in Black Sea, for example, only in Red Sea, Mediterranean Sea. And was found a little statuette in the shape close to those used in Cycladic islands, so-called faceless female statuette. Faceless because isn't and only some draw the face is drawn only with a few lines, only the nose and the eyes. The statuette found near the tablets were figured, the eyes were figured by two horizontal lines each, some pressed in clay. Yes. This method to give the age of objects found in the same strata as another, which the age could be sure and precisely determined, is named indirect method of determining the age. But as I said, only if we are sure that the objects were in exactly the same strata, or in this case we are not sure. Even scientists arguing, fighting in between, relating to the strata there and on the archaeological site. The problem is much worse because nearby was the course of the Mureş River, and so the hill collapsed and some strata moved away, and there are a mixture of some other cultures as following Petresh culture or Latin, or they are not sure on which culture pertained. If the age was indeed 5,500, then all agree that the tablets could pertain to Vinča-Turdash culture, but not a large agreement relating to the age of the tablets. Besides this, first writings discovered and used in all over the world was dated at 3,500 before Christ, close in Sumeria and Egypt. As I said, there were tablets carrying proto-writing and proto-cuneiform signs. Proto-cuneiform signs are the source of the later cuneiform signs, which are much ideal and simple shape, but at the origin had this proto-cuneiform signs. For example, here you have a lot of them. Here is the same Ab, which is in Sumerian, home or temple. Here is the sign Amar, which is signifying calf. This here is a vegetal. Is probably the same. The sign Se, which means cereal. Here, the second time, the sign Ab is repeating. Here we can have a bull, and here we can have probably numbers. These moon-shaped signs were used by Sumerian to signify number one. These signs were made by imprinting a stylus in inclined horizontal way upon the clay tablet, soft clay tablet. Yes. And what is interesting, so these tablets, in my opinion, by no way could be so old. You realize that is a great amount, great span of time between what archaeologists found in the entire world, the first signs related to writing in 3,500 BC, and this supposed 5,500 before Christ, years before Christ. It has a difference of 2,000 years. But the proof and the evidence that this could be made before those Sumerians is the fact that almost 80–90% these tablets are covered with proto-cuneiform, Sumerian proto-cuneiform signs. So cannot be discovered these proto-cuneiform, Sumerian proto-cuneiform signs in our Aryan Vinca culture out of from nowhere, and given to Sumerians later, because there are hard evidences of evolution of Sumerian signs, proto-cuneiform signs, out of before used tokens. Before imprinting or scratching the signs on clay tablets, they used tokens. For example, a round disc-shaped token with a cross in it signify a sheep, or another one in a cone, in the shape of a cone, signifying a measure of cereals, of grains. Yes, and this evolution lasted some hundreds and hundreds of years. They began from these tokens, objects, and after they realized that it's sufficient to reproduce the shape of the 3-dimensional tokens in two-dimensional in two dimensions, as scratching or imprinting. So appeared this proto-cuneiform sign, from which derived later cuneiform signs. Yes, the scientists which have many scientific papers and is sustaining the theory that writing appeared as a practical necessity for counting, and she collected from Iran area and Mesopotamia this kind of tokens. First, they put those tokens in clay inside the clay ball, yes, and this way the tokens were sealed, and the contract cannot be violated or broken without crashing the clay ball. Later they found that it's sufficient to imprint, to trace the shape of these tokens, to trace the shapes on the exterior of this bowl. Yes, and so appeared first proto-cuneiform signs. I tried to find from which system, writing system, emerged or originated these tablets. And I studied three main writing systems which, three or four writing systems which are close to the signs here. Most of the signs are proto-cuneiform ones. Many of them, 90% of them are proto-cuneiform signs. This fact was noticed even by the archaeologist Nicolae Vlasa, the founder of these tablets. By the way, I did not find any practice of expertise of this scholar in a cuneiform, in Sumerian cuneiform or proto-cuneiform field. Nicolae Vlasa said that he was close, to my opinion. He said in the age of the tablets is somewhere around 2700 before Christ. Yes. And he said that those signs are like the signs used in Jemdat Nasr. This is probably in Syria, this village. Any kind pertain to proto-cuneiform stage. The first signs, proto-cuneiform signs, were found for the first time by Leonard Woolley, a British scientist, in 1925, and he finished his research and gathered all the signs, published a paper in 1935, if I remember correctly. Yes. Those tablets were approached. These three or scientists made attempts of interpreting those tablets. Interpreting before we have proto-writing. Reading can be used, the term reading can be used only when we have writing proper. In the case of proto-writing, we can talk only of interpreting. And those three scientists were Adam Falkenstein from Germany, now he's dead. He made a paper in 1965, yes. Another scientist is Isaac Abramovich Weiman from St. Petersburg Museum, Russia. And the third is Rumen Kolev, an Bulgarian scientist. All three mentioned by me were Assyrologists, were Sumerologists also, and have expertise in the field of proto-writing and corresponding proto-cuneiform signs. Yes. Their conclusion was that they found some inadvertencies, some things which are not in the main course of writing, disregarding the writing system, of general technique of writing used in every writing in the entire world, and they concluded that the supposed scribe cannot, don't know to write, don't know, have not sufficient knowledge of the signs he used, and stated that it was kind of illiterate in Romanian analphabet without knowledge of much knowledge of the signs used. They proposed that this supposed guy was a trader or even a metal prospector, which make trips between Aegean area or even Syria. My conclusion is that these signs originated only from Aegean area, Crete or Cyclades. Yes, yes. I made three interpreting attempts. One using Anatolian signs. Anatolian signs are derived from Archaic alphabet ones, but have another interpreting of the signs, not exactly as Greek used the signs. For example, D could be used for E, or some examples. Many signs I found in the Aegean writing systems, linear writing systems, linear A, and linear B. But many I found in proto-cuneiform. For example, in this tablet, all the signs could be found in the same time in Sumerian proto-cuneiform library and in linear A writing, Aegean writing, which was discovered and used mostly in Crete. There are some ideas and hypotheses that the writing appeared in the Aegean area because the first migrants of the Crete island were Sumerians. Even the language could be close. They called this kind of languages banana language because there are sounds which are repeating, like in goddess Asasara. They found a word Asasara me, probably Maya Asasara, or other kinds of words. These languages are named agglutinative languages, in which particles are added. For example, a way to construct plural used by Sumerians was by repeating the word. When they repeated the word, they form this way the plural. Yes. And Minoan language is not yet known. Despite the attempts, they hypothesized that is close to Semitic family. They tried with Egyptian family, they tried with Indo-European family, they tried with Anatolian, and no, not succeeded, despite the fact that linear A used mostly the same signs as linear B, which were used by Mycenaeans, and the language is kind of a Greek language. For example, one of the first words found by the man which deciphered the language and writing. Yes, he found, Michael Ventrix is the name. He found Paito, which concluded that could be Phaistos, which was some kilometers away from the place where the tablet was found. So my proposal is that those tablets originated in Aegean area. There are two scientists, Greek scientists, Evangelos Papakitsos and Ioannis Kenanidis, which have papers in which they show that the linear A and linear B writings originated from a form of proto-linear, which was inspired by the Sumerian proto-cuneiform. I have also some contribution in this field. For example, I will show you this sign is in Sumerian proto-language sign named Amar, which is calf. But in linear A is the syllable Ma. They say that is coming from the Sumerian Ama, mother, but as I said, in linear is the syllable Ma. This sign is in Sumerian signifying cereal, and is named Se, She, and in linear way is named Te, consonant Te, and have the same significance. The difference is that in Sumerian have more perpendicular lines here, and in Asian linear writings have only maybe two perpendicular strokes, perpendicular over one horizontal one, and here Asian have only two strokes. Yes. The big problem is if this tablet contains signs which easily can be found in Asian writings and in Sumerian proto-cuneiform. With this tablet we have interesting problems because have three kind of signs from Sumerian proto-cuneiform, from Asian, and from have letters. For example, this upper half of the tablet, I don't know why, by chance or something happened, something mysterious, because all these signs out of this upper sign letters in archaic Greek alphabet. These signs in the shape of is heta alla scala, heta with the shape of stairs. These are three rungs. In archaic Greek alphabet is heta, which is the same with later eta, because Greek language suffered change throughout ages, millennia, and is named suffers these changes. Eta, eta, and now is pronounced E. They pronounced some 1,000 years ago Hera, and after that pronounced Era, and nowadays they pronouncing Era. This sign is the same as those two, is like D, capital D letter. This capital D letter what we use in archaic Greek alphabets, which was not the same of the entire Aegean territory, but was different upon different places, Euboea, Ionia, or stuff. In one place this was for D, in another place was for R, Ro, Ro, yes. And here we have O, O, or O, C, because this circle is not entire closed, but we can have different readings if these are letters like. I found that this monogram Etaro, the oldest place they were found in some caves, maybe, if I, from my recollection, in Samos Islands, was a monogram of Hera. This. So we can have the reading Hera Didos or Hera Didu. Each Didu or Didos is the vocative or the verb give in Greek language, which give now, instantly, give now, or could be, if these are raw, could have here the word which have the root reo, to flow, and for example, we could have here row or row, which maybe is Indo-European or old form for river. Flowing, yes. The same verb which is in Pantarei, all is flowing. Pantarei have different forms, yes. So, I don't know where here we have probably most interesting sign. In a shape close to this was found that represented the inner center of the god Samas, sun god, Sumerian sun god. This is a sign for temple of Samas. This above is the sign also used by Egyptians for day sun, yes, and this is, here we have the sign for temple, yes, the inner sacred, most sacred place in interior or of a temple, in which have also churches have inside an altar which people cannot enter in any circumstances. Yes. And so we don't know why a scribe used almost three kinds of writing systems when logically, one is expecting, if I want to communicate, to transmit something by writing, not by words, by speaking, then I use the writing systems which I use in my time. For example, now we are using Latin alphabet. When one was in time of cuneiform, they used cuneiform. But why somebody would use 2 or 3 kind of signs? One day I realized that I wanted to show to a friend evolution of the writing in the world throughout millennia. And what do you think? I found that there is no better way to show evolution of writing than using those drawings or tablets. From pictographic to syllabary to alphabetic writing. Anyway, I found the opinion of one scientist that probably the scribe, the writer, want to show how intelligent, how much, to show off himself, to show how much he knows. So it's possible somebody to come from Aegean area and to teach, to show how they use writing, to accustom with in some steps to explain and to be understood how writing is working. Don't know what is all about. Even I suspected short time I discovered that he made the tablets that were fakes or yes, but in my searches I found that he was a top level scientist with a high level of ethics and morality, and had many scientific papers, and anyway could not be involved in this. I suppose that somebody later wanted to make Zofia Torma a kind of gift, but in those times the signs were not known to anybody. Proto-cuneiform signs that were not known to anybody because were discovered in 1925, and Zofia Torma died in 1999. Yes. The way we have here Hera, which in Greek is lady, is for lady, because Heros is for Lord, yes, for Mister. And here we can have doc. This DD ok, DD ok was used to express title given by the Pope to the priests, which when they finished high school, they were doctor in religion and in science. Doctor is meaning teacher, rather meaning rabbi at Hebrew. Doctor originated from the verb doceo. Doceo and derived didactic and the words doceo, to teach. Doctor, yes. So, don't know exactly what it's all about, but generally I suppose not to be original, to be genuine and originated from the Asian area. You know, proto-cuneiform signs were not, they stayed underground from 3500 BC until 1925 at 2 meters in the earth underground, under the temple of a temple in Uruk, where Leonard Woolley discovered and got at the surface, and later made a collection, the paper, which showed kind of library of all those signs. In that time, nobody knows for sure what every sign represented. Even the scientist, German scientist Adam Falkenstein, at the beginning did not know the significance of every proto-cuneiform signs. Only later, with other scientists like Englund, they could give meaning to every sign, but very interesting. Even nowadays, we cannot interpret a proto-cuneiform tablet for sure. Many scientists have no single reading interpreting. But another situation, there was a writing which was used in the same time, 3000 before Christ, which is used by in Elamite writing, which is much less known, and I don't even remember the scientist which is studied, which knows better this writing system. But it's some way close to this Sumerian. Now thank you for watching, and we keep in touch. I have my research on my blog at WordPress. The name is Tartaria tablets.com. Tartaria tablets.com. Bye bye.